Hello, welcome to Pen Talk. Today we're going to discuss what might be called an intro pen. Certainly a fairly inexpensive fountain pen that works very, very well and would serve as a good starter pen for someone who's interested to get into fountain pens. As you can see, it's a Nemosine. It's technically an American brand, but it assembles parts from various parts of the world to make their pens. What's interesting also is they certainly take personal care in the pen. As you can see, it calls the German nib, and I got this in broad. It's the Singularity model, and it's in the color blueberry, and it's initialed by the person, I assume, who put the pen together. And as you can see, it certainly does advertise the German nib. The pen body is made in Taiwan, and it was put together and packaged in the USA. And there's their website. This was purchased on Amazon for less than $20 delivered. So I think that's an extremely good price. So no further ado, let's take a look at the pen. Very simple packaging, which I think most people like. And the pen comes with a number of cartridges. There's 6 of them, so that certainly will get you going. And there's some instructions in here which are actually quite good for someone starting out. It really covers the basics. Talks about their 3-year guarantee, which is also should people feel comfortable. So if the pen isn't performing as they like, they could send it back to have Nemosine take a look at it. And it talks about the ink cartridges and cleaning. So I think this is very good, and again would be promotion for someone who's just starting out in pens. It's a classic design, and let me get my notes. So the overall length is 137.2 millimeters, which is about 5.4 inches, which is probably on a medium-large size as far as fountain pens go. The cap is 56.6 millimeters, and the widest dimension here is 13.9 millimeters. And as you also notice, they do a nice job with the brand is engraved into the cap band here. The clip is nice. It looks visually, I find this pen to be very appealing. Simple design, but very functional. And as you can see, the clip has a fairly good tension to it. Let's uncap it. Just a screw cap. Your standard black section. The threads are as part of the section and not part of the barrel, which is a little bit different from designs of other pens. And as you can see, it's a fairly substantial nib. It has very nice engraving on it. The Nemosine kind of emblem. And there's a B at the very bottom to indicate it's a broad nib. Very finely finned feed. I'm certain it's a German feed. I'm not that familiar with who makes them. And it has a number on there. As you can see, there's a fairly bit of tipping material on the pen, which gives it a very good writing experience. So standard, it comes with a converter, which is also good. So you have your cartridges for those people that may not have bottled ink, but for those who like bottled ink, your standard screw converter. And it has a little ball in there, which some people say it's for agitating the ink. I'm not exactly certain its function. So while we have it open, we're going to fill it with Private Reserve Tanzanite. Interesting ink. I've known other people that have reviewed it and have liked it, and I have not used it as much as some of my other inks, so now's the time. I think this broad nib should really show off the ink. The pen's already been flushed, something I do with all new pens to make certain if there's any manufacturing materials left in the feed section, they're all cleaned out. So we're just going to dip it into the ink well and draw up some ink. As you can see, it about half fills the cartridge on the first draw, and we'll follow the other example of trying to do the second draw. And as you can see on the second draw, Yeah, it seems to be a little bit more ink, but also some air bubbles. So we will cap the ink. And we're going to wipe off the nib and bring on the writing pad. As I mentioned, I've already taken this pen a little bit through its paces, so I'm kind of familiar with how it works. So this is the Nemosine Singularity in Blueberry. And you can see it lays down a decent amount of ink. It is extremely. This is about as smooth as any nib I've ever written with. And you can actually bring out a little bit of flex. The feed keeps up with fast writing, and with a broad nib like this, it lays down a lot of ink. That shows that it's well designed. As you can see, the ink looks good on my finger too. So this is just a quick review of a pen that I would recommend for anyone who wants an inexpensive pen which writes well and very functional. So thank you for watching, and write on. The end.